Hello, guys. Today we have on board with us Ms. Naureen Hyat, the CEO and founder of Tez Financial Services. It's wonderful to have you here with us, ma'am.
Thank you
Today,
so much for having me, Ali.
you're welcome, ma'am. Today, we shall shed the spotlight on your achievements and all that you have contributed to the finance ecosystem. So let's get into it. Ms. Naureen, please maneuver the community through who you are and your journey into bringing effective, positive change as a social entrepreneur.
So, Ali, I think honestly, when I started this journey with Hamza, it's been about over 10 years now. Um, we didn't look into the term entrepreneurship or social entrepreneurship per se. It was really a purpose that we really felt very inclined towards, and it was that purpose. Whatever machinery or medium we went through, we wanted to achieve that purpose. And this started when we were working with the credit rating agency called PACRA. And we happened to be specialists for the microfinance sector. And microfinance sector, when you actually dwell deeper into what the sector is about, there are lots of intricacies to it. The sector was really criticized for having very high interest rates. And we're talking about the grassroots level here, people who do not have, funds to even meet the day-to-day. So, we thought, why not address this need and see what the challenges really are? And, I'll try to, summarize the entire journey. But the need that we actually came down to was that these institutions had very high operational costs, primarily because they operated on the field. And that was one of the costs that they actually had to pass on to the consumers if they were to be sustainable. So we decided to come up with a technology that brought down these operational costs for the microfinance institutions and organizations and pass on the benefits to the consumers. And for that, we designed a digital field application for automating the entire credit disbursement process. And that did not only, assist these institutions in achieving efficiencies in disbursement, but also would have helped them bring down their costs. But, this was back in 2014-15 when we started off. I think at that time, institutions themselves were going through a transitory process in terms of regulations. And I think their mindsets were not attuned to accepting technology, either because they did not understand how it operated or they did not have the budgets to invest in technology. So that's when, we then joined hands with Nadeem Saab, who is our third co-founder. And we decided, so this was the first startup, which was called CheckIn Solutions. And, we decided to then pivot from there and decided to, if we were to help the masses and provide them financial services that met their needs, that did not mismatch with, their financial profiles, the best way to have done it was to actually do it ourselves. So that's when Tez came into being. And Tez, we were fortunate enough to be the first licensed lending FinTech in Pakistan. And the vision for us was really to provide financial services to the masses without any friction. And, that included credit, savings, insurance, and investments. However, over time, we mastered the art of credit, which was primarily nano lending. Because, that itself required so much focus. So, earlier this year, Tez got acquired by ZootPay, which is a digital lending platform for e-commerce, now focusing on SMEs and consumers as well. So that, very quickly has been the summary of what happened. And the purpose really was, providing financial access to the masses without any friction and still remain.
That's wonderful. Ma'am, your contributions to enhancing the financial ecosystem are obviously commendable beyond words. Your success with Tez Financial Services in order to, like you said, enhance the lives of the unbanked, underbanked, and millennials in general, with the goal of making smart financial decisions is remarkable. Ms. Naureen, please give us an insight into how you feel looking back at the success that you've attained and how crucial it is for someone in your position to be able to give back to the community.
Well, thank you so much for those kind words, Ali. Well, to be honest, I think success is very relative. And, when I look back, I feel very fortunate that I had the opportunity to, contribute in whatever way we did to the society and to the overall ecosystem. However, I still feel there's so much more to be done. We've just literally scratched the surface here. I think what I feel we did, I think we were a little ahead of our time when we started it, and the industry wasn't, and I think still isn't completely ready for embracing tech in financial services, although a lot of changes have happened, in the past 7-8 years. But I think when you talk about a population over 220 million, we talk about an unbanked population over 100 million. Only 4% of the population in Pakistan that has access to credit. These numbers indicate there's so much more to be done.
Yep.
So for us, I think success really, I don't know what to classify success. I think for us, what was successful was that I think we paved the way for many more players to come into it. I think we worked a lot with the regulators, with the participants to at least start thinking digital, start thinking lending, become more open in terms of embracing lending digitally. So I think that's one thing that we feel was our contribution to the sector. But in terms of contributing to the masses, I feel we've just done very little. There's so much more to be done. The second part of what you said, I think we all have a responsibility towards giving back. Each one of us, no matter how big or small, we have a role to play. And when we've been given, the luxury of being able to do that, I feel we should consider it a responsibility at the very least, to
Definitely
give back to where we come from.
That's perfect. Well, Ms. Naureen, I'm sure you're aware of the emerging talent, the tech talent, in fact, from Pakistan, and how PACRA Launch has admirably offered a platform to bridge the gap between, startups and investors at the Unconference that's about to happen in January. What would you like to say about this amazing initiative by PACRA Launch? And in your opinion, do you think there is ample room for growth in the Pakistani tech or finance industry?
Well, I think PACRA Launch has done tremendously well in bridging the gap between connecting startups or businesses to investors.
Yep.
But I think more importantly, I think PACRA Launch has played a very instrumental role in highlighting the great work that is being carried out within Pakistan and outside of Pakistan by some great Pakistani entrepreneurs. So I think that's a role that they should be given credit for. And I think that's not an easy thing to do. They've literally created a platform for connections. They've created a platform for celebrating successes. They've created a platform for encouraging companies who otherwise could not have reached heights that they had intended to. So I think that's a great achievement on their part. And I think Unconference, I wasn't able to attend the last one, but this year, I'm really excited to being a part of it. And I feel it's, I think there's so many waves that they've created. So definitely a platform that everyone should be trying to attend if it's possible. And I think in terms of tech talent or even financial talent, there's no dearth of talent in Pakistan. I just think it's for the longest time it's been under-admired or
recognized, I would say.
Not really absolutely recognized on a global platform. And I think many platforms such as PACRA Launch, they're giving opportunities to this talent to showcase what they have. And also those who have not had the chance to showcase, it's giving them the courage to come up with the innovations. And there's a lot in Pakistan has a lot to offer. I just hope we can direct it in the right direction.
That's absolutely true, ma'am. We see that there are many businesses that are determined to reach the top of the success ladder. Although these businesses have growth potential, they go astray due to negligence to some degree, I would say. So is there a word of advice you would like to bestow upon them that would prove helpful for them?
So yeah, I think that depends a lot on the stage and the size of the businesses, and also I think the experience of entrepreneurs who've started them. So I think I'll talk more about younger businesses and maybe younger entrepreneurs. And I myself, I'm learning, so there's a lot for me to learn. So I don't know, if I'm able to do justice by what I'm saying. But I think in my opinion, it's very important for businesses to have purpose at the center of whatever they do. I think that drives everything about even day-to-day operations of how a business is really conducted. And I think many a times, founders or even, businesses themselves, they stray from that purpose or that Vision, So I'd say that, that purpose is very clear from get-go. It's it's not difficult. Well, not difficult in terms of at least achieving or directing yourselves towards that purpose. That said, I think there's so many other challenges that businesses and founders have to, firefight on a day-to-day basis. But that's a part of every business, I guess. But I would just say that I think governance, intent, and I think having a focus on fundamentals is very important. So I think if these three are in line, one can't be certain if they can actually go beyond the years, because funding itself is another challenge. But at least I think for businesses, it's much, they have that chance to success increases. So I think in the past we've seen quite a few businesses. Unfortunately, the recent recession brought about a lot of challenges. Many businesses have had to close, and even much larger, mammoth-sized businesses all over the world have had to face challenges. But I think when fundamentals are straighter in a clean environment and in an easier environment, then success is to follow suit.
That's absolutely wonderful, Ms. Naureen. It was wonderful talking to you.